better. I mean, I think we've made the Dayton scrimmage was good for us, and they're picking things up. You know, we you have to. You got to throw a lot at them in a short period of time, and you know, coming from we got so many guys from so many different. There's so many ways to play the game, so many different sets, and whether you press, you play zone, you play man, you do whatever, and it's a different culture.
The vibe I'm getting is these are your kind of guys. The squad you've got is tougher. The things that you look for in basketball players is more to your liking. Is that accurate?
Some of them, yeah. I mean, I don't think we have a team full, but yeah, I think some of them are. Some of them. It's just, you know, it's just different when they come from so many different cultures and so many different ways, because there's a lot of ways to do things. There's just not one way to do things, and they're learning. They've been extremely receptive. We've gone pretty hard for a good period of time. So yeah, I mean, I like them. I mean, they're trying. They're not there yet, but they're certainly trying.
You know, be able to score closer to the basket.
Right now, no, but eventually, yeah, I think we can. But you know, John, here's the thing, I know I've said this before, but Danny Forson didn't score it close the way, you know, he needed to initially, but he worked at it. You know, we tried to do everything we could do to get him to do it. It's bigs, for some reason they catch the ball. Most people, they catch the ball, they're looking down, and the only time they see the rim is on their when they lift their head on the way up. So you're finding your target on the way up. I mean, who does that? I mean, you don't do that when you're hunting. You don't do that when you're fishing. You don't do that anyway. You know, you just don't flip it out there and then look and see where it went. You know, it's just going to take some time.
With it going to take some time, what does the early season mean? I mean, as far as I don't want to say wins and losses. You know, you obviously try to win every game, but as far as getting to, would it be before New Year's, before you have a team?
Well, I hope not. I hope not, because I mean, if that's the case, it's going to be really rough for us out west. But I mean, we've played one, and Dayton was good. Anthony does a great job of coaching them. They run really good stuff, and that was good for us. I think this one tomorrow will be good for us. And then we have, I think, what, 4 Mess? I think it's 4. I think it's 4 more games before we head out to the tournament out there. So it generally takes it takes time when you have just a few new guys, and when you have as many new guys as we have, it's going to take a little more time.
Health-wise, I know you had a couple guys there dinged up.
I'm good, Justin. I feel real. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, well, you had Matthews and Mitchell dinged up there at the scrimmage. Everyone kind of.
Emmett stays dinged up. Yeah, I mean he dinged his shoulder up a little bit. He'll play through it. And Trey's getting better, I think, daily. It's gonna be a little longer, but I think he gets better daily.
Toussaint's a guy we haven't really asked you much about, but he's a New York City guard, and you've had success with New York City guards. Is he in that mold from some of the other guys that you've had that were tough and that little, you know, that New York City persona that they play with?
Well, I'll say this about him, John. One, he really works hard. He's very receptive to coaching. His shot has improved dramatically in the time that he's been here because he's put a lot of time in. His mechanics are better, and he's got that toughness to him, and he's got toughness, and he's got physical size, not height particularly, but strength. And I mean, I thought he was a really good the Dayton game. He may have been the guy, walking out of there that we felt like played the best of anybody there. So, yeah, I mean, I think I don't know if it's New York City. I mean, most of the people I know from Iowa, leaving New York and going to Iowa had to be a cultural experience for him. So it's different. He's good. He's good. He's getting better. He's getting better, and when you play against Keedy every day, you have to get better. Keedy's the best on-the-ball defender we've had here in a while, and I think Joe is getting right there with him.
How are you handling straight line drives?
Better than what we did a year ago. Our technique's better. I think our technique's better. We've spent a good bit of time on technique, and secondly, our foot speed's better.
At the Gold Blue, you were kind of talking about how you might be able to mix and match defensively, kind of tinker some different things, pressing 1-3-1, obviously man to man. Are you feeling comfortable with any of that, all of that? Will you be as versatile as we had thought originally?
Not at this point in time. I think we can get there, but certainly not at this point in time.
Style-wise tomorrow, what are you going to see from Bowling Green? What are they going to give you?
They try to run up and down. Matheny's terrific with the ball, and he really pushes the ball. He's got really good floor vision, and he's a good shot maker. So he gets the ball up and down for him, and they've got a lot of other guys who can make shots. I think their strength is how well they shoot the ball.
So transition defense will be something you look at tomorrow?
Transition defense will be really that'll give us a good test.
What are you feeling most comfortable with defensively at this point?
Nothing. No, nothing. We played all man-to-man against Dayton because I just thought we needed to continue to learn. But I mean, we can play some zone, but we kind of, it was kind of that whole thing. We threw the hole out there at them and confused them pretty good, and then started to break it down into parts. We're not back to the hole again.
Do these guys have the wherewithal to be able to do some of the more unusual things that you like to throw at teams down the road? Point drop and the hockey defense and some of the other things that you like to throw in there. These guys capable of doing some of that?
We exposed them to it. I mean, we haven't worked on it, but we did expose them to it.
Bob, so much of getting to know new players is having them kind of understand how you play, right? When you have guys who come from backgrounds who have played a lot of college ball, can you pluck things that they did well at other places, and I'm not saying build around that, but kind of facilitate their transition, their success? Like Joe played on a really good offensive team. That's not the way you play offense, but could some of that slide over to what you do? And for different guys like Eric or Trey or anybody else?
Well, Trey hasn't practiced yet. I think we'll find that out when Trey gets totally healthy. I mean, Eric's like everybody else. He has days when you say, wow, you know, he makes every shot. And then there's days when you say, wow, is he going to make one ever again? You know, but I mean, that happens to everybody. And a lot of it is just being comfortable. You know, I think when you start to miss shots, particularly early in the year like this, you really, you know, you start worrying about, you know, what are the coaches thinking, or you know, what are my teammates thinking, and you don't really concentrate the way you need to concentrate on making shots. We're capable. We got a lot of guys who can make shots. I mean, our freshmen are playing pretty well. They're freshmen, you know, but they're playing pretty well. So it's been competitive, which is good. It's good that it's been competitive. You can't go in there and not be really competitive. If you do, you're gonna look bad.
Bob, last year you spoke highly, especially of his rebounding of Okonkwo. Haven't heard his name virtually at all, in this so far this preseason. Where does he stand?
Anyway, it's good days and bad days. You know, James is a guy who really never was in organized basketball until he got here. And unfortunately, when he first got here, he really didn't have anybody to play against. You know, and now all of a sudden he's playing against a guy who's 280 pounds and 6'10", and you can't move him. And so that's a little different for James. And then the other guy's 6'10" and runs like a deer. He can really run. So, you know, James is kind of almost, I don't know if saying caught in the middle is the right thing, but he's not either one of those guys. He's James, and James I think sometimes has a hard time being James. And when James is James, he's pretty good. I mean, he can step out and make shots. He can step out and make a three. He can block shots. He plays above the rim. But you're talking about a guy who came from England and never really played basketball until he got here. So it's going to take him a little while. The other two have played I shouldn't say the other two. One of the other two has played quite a bit of basketball, and the other one just got over here, 3 years ago. So it's going to take Mo a little longer.
Anybody that you look at now, whatever, 3 weeks in or whatever, you say, it might be a little better than I thought. Is there anybody you got that's like that? Look at him a little bit.
I think our freshman Seth has played, and it's a shame because Seth just hurt his wrist, and I'm not sure how long it's going to be for him to get totally back to the way he was. But Seth has played much better than he played a year ago. Kobe is a guy that can do a lot of things. I mean, we played him a little bit of backup point guard a year ago. I think he could do that. He could play the 2 spot. He could play the 3. Kobe's our most versatile guy. But you know, that's different because that's a guy who grew up in Canton, Ohio, and played for Canton McKinley. You know, he's been around basketball. His dad was a basketball guy. And there's a lot to be said for growing up in a house where, you know, basketball is important, and going to a school like Canton McKinley where basketball is extremely important.
You had a chance to check out the new club area coming in?
I was just down there. I was just down there with Steve Urias.
Did you seal of approval on that? Or?
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's really nice. I was pleased that you're going to be able to see out of there.
Right.
You know, you're not going to be able to see the corners on that end of the court, but you're going to be able to you're going to be able to be in there, sit in there, have something to eat. You know, in your case, drink a Pepsi, and
Mountain Dew, right?
Something in that Pepsi, right?
and
You like the picture? they
still
put
be
in
able to
there?
watch the game.
They put a good picture of you in there?
No,
No?
no, it's like sticker stuff.
Oh.
It's 35 with a stool. I
What's
mean,
going on, Matt? Huh? What the heck? That's put it all out of it.
Joe and Keedy together, does that give you another dynamic, at least defensively, even though you're maybe a little undersized? Are you comfortable pairing them together at the same time?
I have no problem with their size. I have a problem with one of them getting in foul trouble and really not having a sub to put in. So playing them together, I think we can do for a short period of time. I would rather have both of them at the end of the game because they both have really good ball security. They both can make free throws, and they're both strong with the ball.
Kind of thought a few weeks ago you'd kind of hinted that this could be a pretty deep team. Are you still under that impression that 10, 11, whatever it takes, I guess?
Yeah, but you know what, Justin? It's different, man. You go to Kansas and they got 18,000 people. It's different, you know. You can't hear. It's a different atmosphere. From what I understand, TCU's probably, with the way their football team's going, and Jamie's really high on his team, and that's a small place.
Right.
That place is going to get awfully loud. You know, we need to get them to the point where they know what's going on, where they don't have to look around and ask.
You mentioned, to Justin's point about depth, do you have enough at each area? I know last year you were a little light in some areas. Do you feel like you've got enough in all 5 areas?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. I mean, they all bring something a little different, but you know, and again, our younger guys. I mean, Kobe's a sophomore. We got 2 freshmen they're good. Now, are they good whenever they're playing on national television and they're playing in places that are pretty difficult to play in? I don't know. Sometimes freshmen are. Most of the time they're not.
Are you having to do that with versatility, or are you doing with that guys in their spots? Are you going to have to get what you need?
We got enough people, I think, at every position. I think. But you know what? I mean, how do you know? I mean, Seth hurts his wrist. Eric got hurt the other day. You know, we got a couple guys haven't played at all yet. They're still in a training room and working through some things. You know, we send Pat in. Pat had a floater. Okay, no big deal. You know, probably should get it out. It floats and gets caught in something and jams up a knee. It could be bad. So they go in and look, and he not only had a floater, but he had some other issues in there that they had to clean up. So, you know, instead of him being out a week, he's going to be out 2 or 3. There's things that happen that you can't control, that you don't, you know, you feel pretty good about, and then, I mean, it's the best thing for Pat. And in the long run, it's the best thing for us. He's going to be a lot better for it. Same way with Trey. He's going to be a lot better for it. And I would think a lot more confident, a lot more comfortable. I would think.
You said Trey hasn't practiced yet?
No.
Okay.
Bob, you were talking about having a lot of cultures merging together here. Are you talking about playing basketball styles or culture, locker room culture, or coaching culture, goal culture. I mean, and how do you put it all together?
I think it's all of that. When you coach speak is talking about culture, what the culture that they want to create, and I don't, I guess we have a culture. I've never really thought about it, in the way other people kind of think about it. I just like, you better play harder, you're not going to get in, Yeah, I kind of have to do it. I am a little different that way. I kind of like to watch guys play hard, but they've been good. I mean, they've really been good. That's all I can tell you. I think they've, if I guess coach speak is they bought in. I don't know what that means, but I mean they're trying to do what they're asked to do. Do they do it all the time? No, but they're trying. They're trying to do what I ask them to do. And if they kind of find out if it's culture, if you want to call it culture, they find out very quickly if they don't do what they're asked to do, the results are not good in their favor.
So tomorrow night, then, what are your hopes? I mean, what do you look at? I mean, just see improvement, effort, or do you want to see some serious steps taken here tomorrow night? Or
well, if I'm looking to see effort, then we're not where I think we are. Right. Our effort should be, and I would think will be, very good. It's different than what we just experienced with Dayton. Dayton runs a lot of different things. They rely a lot on perimeter shooting, as does Bowling Green. But Bowling Green more penetrate the pitch than, flare screens and those kind of things. So it's good for us. I mean, it's good for us, and Matheny's going to push the ball. And so transition defense is going to be really good for us. And when if you would sit down and list all the things that you have to get better at, there's a lot of things, man, And have we spent a little bit of time on transition defense? Yes. Have we spent as much time on that as we have on maybe running offense or defending in the half court and all that? No, we have not, because you just don't have enough time. But I think having some guys that have been there before, even though it's in a different atmosphere, a different culture, different way of doing things, at least they've been there. They've Joe's played in the Big Ten. Eric's played everywhere.
Something on Eric, something I was kind of noticing during the blue-gold scrimmage. It looks like he really likes to penetrate a good bit, but then kind of gets caught up.
That's only if he can't get a shot off. If he can get a shot off, he's going to shoot it.
Right.
And I want him to.
Okay. On his penetration, though, because it seems like it's tougher for him to get shots off when he does penetrate.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. So.
Do I like that?
Well, yeah, I guess that's what I'm asking. I mean, I'm guessing you want to see him.
I'd rather penetrate and pitch.
Right.
But, I mean, if he can get it all the way to the rim, that's one thing. Penetrating into size is not good.
Right.
That's a recipe for turnovers.
Do you anticipate Mitchell being ready for the season opener?
I have no idea. That's a question for the doctors.
as specific as you can be or want to be, just individually, collectively, from the scrimmage, things you liked or things you were surprised about?
From the scrimmage, I thought we'd guard better than we did, but now, and in saying that, Dayton really runs good offense. And they're coached really well, and they brought back, for the most part, a veteran team, so they kind of knew what they were doing. I didn't think we were very good in a lot of areas. I didn't think offensively we were very good. I mean, we scored more probably off of our defense than we did off of our offense, and we didn't rebound it as well as what I think we have to rebound it to be good. And we have people that are capable of rebounding the ball, very capable of rebounding the ball.
Those are the two areas you've been working on in offense and rebounding. I know you always refer to it as whack-a-mole, find a problem, fix it, another problem pops up, fix it. Is that where you're at right now with those?
It's like going to the carnival, John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you always say.
Some groundhogs keep popping up. You ever do that, Bob? Whack 'em?
Have I?
Yeah.
Only when I was married.
Only when you were. I didn't mean your wife. I meant the groundhogs popping up.
Coach, thank you.
You're welcome, miss.